What's up, guys? Welcome to the first ever Don't Tempt Me podcast. This is the first episode. I'm going to be Shiva, your host, along with
Leanne. Here we go.
Here we go.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, so we're going to just basically explain to you guys real quick what this podcast is going to be, what the name kind of means, and we're going to get into our first topic for this episode. So the reason we chose Don't Tempt Me, it's kind of the one, we had a lot of brainstorm, but it's the one that stuck out to us the most because you can just use it in a lot of different situations,
Yeah, you can.
Especially for what this podcast is about for us. So we're mostly based around like relationships, friendships, advice, just having communication and talking to you guys. But for example, like, don't tempt me. I'm going to go psycho on you. Or don't tempt me. Like, for a bunch of different reasons, you can always use it. Yeah.
And we really did want to create this podcast too because we talk as friends all the time, but we want to serve as that kind of remove to give you the honest truth about what's going on. We're not afraid to hurt feelings. We are handling this as an opportunity to really connect and get into the questions that matter and that people don't talk about.
So if you do want to ask us questions, you can DM either of us. My Instagram's Sheaves21.
And mine is Leanne Marie on Instagram. So DM us all. We want to hear everything you have to say, and we're not afraid to go there.
Yeah. But let's go ahead and just jump into the topic that we want to talk about today.
Yes. The first topic is jealousy in a relationship. How to deal with it. Is it okay? What does it mean? All the things.
Is jealousy good in a relationship? Yes or no, first of all?
I think jealousy is normal, and I know that's a slightly different question, but I think it's really important to address that it happens and what we can do when it happens, and kind of focus on if it's something that's within yourself or the relationship or a passing feeling, which is all kind of three different things that happen. And some of it means you're in the wrong relationship. Some of it means you have insecurities you need to work on. And then some of it's okay. And it's going to happen because people are tempted. And there is such a thing as getting too comfortable in a relationship too, where I think it's okay to ask those questions. And just because you're feeling an emotion of jealousy doesn't mean you're always a jealous person.
Okay. Do you think that there's ever good jealousy? Like, do you ever think there should be jealousy in a relationship?
Give me an example.
I mean, an example just being like, not that you should test the person that you're with, but don't you think, like you said, people get comfortable in their relationships, like, it's like a very small situation, you know, that maybe happens in front of your partner and they get jealous. Like, sometimes maybe that is a good thing to have that once in a while, so it reminds you that, like,
yeah, well, of course you're gonna see people, or in our situation, girls that flirt with your man, and you want to say something to them, you want to say something to your boyfriend, and I think that's fine. And I do think on the opposite end of the scale, not caring is also a sign you shouldn't be in the relationship.
Yeah. And it makes like, if a girl gets jealous because someone's talking to their man, it does kind of make their man feel good. Obviously there's a degree, and you don't want to get past a certain point. You should be able to feel comfortable enough with the person that you're with to have a conversation if those feelings do come up. And they should be able to help you with those feelings and be able to reassure you in a way that you actually feel reassured, and it doesn't become a pattern that is consistently happening in your relationship. Because then at that point, I think it goes to what you said, where you need to look a little deeper into those feelings and ask yourself, okay, is this because I'm feeling insecure, or is this something that he's doing that's making me feel these jealous feelings? Like, you have to set boundaries and kind of figure out what is actually going on.
Well, and you can get sucked into a type of dynamic where having your partner get jealous is an ego boost.
Yeah.
And setting that tone to then allow it into the relationship in a way where it's kind of like this power struggle now, I think is
toxic.
Also a situation that you need to look at.
Yeah. Also, something that I found a difference between recently is being suspicious versus being jealous, because
Different words, people.
Yeah, jealousy is if I'm jealous of a girl, that's because that's supposed to mean that I want something that she has, or I'm jealous of her. But there's a difference between that and being suspicious about, okay, who is that, asking questions. And I find that very interesting because I think that it is a difference.
It is. And that just plays into the difference between a jealousy where that might be, if you look at it the first way, within yourself, being jealous of that other person rather than being suspicious of the situation that's taking place. Because
you should trust your partner.
Yeah.
If you're with someone, it shouldn't be a constant feeling that you're feeling of jealousy. You shouldn't have that happen consistently.
Hell no.
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 Not. And I've kind of been there. Kind of been there.
Kind of, maybe, sort of, yes.
Kind of, maybe, sort of, in a way. But again, I should have, in the moment, which it is hard, I should have addressed, okay, why am I feeling... It was more of, I would say, insecurity, but insecurity within the relationship and within myself at the time.
Well, that's the thing.
It was not a good time for me.
You were feeling insecure within the relationship. That doesn't mean that you, by yourself, outside of the relationship, are an insecure person.
Yeah. I was at the time, though, I think.
Well,
but maybe had to do with the relationship. Yeah.
It has the ability to knock you down and bring you back up, which is why it's super important not to get into that cycle.
Yeah. So if the question is, how do you deal with jealousy in a relationship, is you shouldn't be dealing with jealousy in a relationship. So if it is on your end, that's something that you really need to focus and work on. And I'm not sure if that's something that you can do in that relationship. If you're already feeling that way, it's really hard to break patterns if you've already felt that way and you've been with this person for a while. If it's like the first time you're feeling it in the relationship, address it right away, figure it out so that it doesn't become something that is now the dynamic in your relationship.
Well, it's also that level of communication that needs to be there, and your partner should be able to provide you with the correct form of an explanation and love
that works for you.
That
and
works
what you need
for
to
you.
hear.
And then you won't be feeling jealous.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it should appear.
Yeah.
Barely ever.
Yeah. I will never forget, my mom one time told me, she said, a little bit of jealousy is a good thing once in a while. It's okay to let them get a little jealous, you know, like remind them that you better keep your shit up, because
it's that comfortable level.
Yeah. So it's good, I think, maybe like in marriage once in a while, but it should not be a constant thing. I remember when, like, that time in my last relationship where I was feeling those things. Oh my God. It really should not be something that you're dealing with in a relationship. That's not a good sign.
Yeah.
For whatever the reason is, but when I was trying to address it, I wasn't getting, it's so important to get the reassurance you need, because I wasn't getting the reassurance that I need. Yes, the person was telling me, you have nothing to worry about, but that wasn't all that I needed. I needed more. So it really also depends on how they're gonna respond, because if they aren't responding the way that you need, it's gonna create even more suspicion or more of those uncomfortable feelings, because you don't feel settled. You're gonna feel unsettled with their answer, and it might be because they are doing something, like they aren't answering it or reassuring you enough. It's either on your end, it's just not what you need, or on their end, they aren't able to give you enough because they are kind of doing the things that you're getting insecure or jealous about. So, also, you need to be, because, for example, you and I, we have a certain type of personality that is very, not very, but we do come off very friendly, so I guess you could say flirtatious. And I will admit, like, our personalities are a bit flirtatious. That doesn't mean we are flirting with the person, but the way I talk with a girl, like a response to a girl would be the same thing to a guy, and it's going to come off flirtatious to a girl, but it's also going to come off flirtatious to the guy. But because it's a guy, it's coming off, they're going to say, quote unquote, it's flirty. So you like, if your partner isn't okay with that personality type too, that can cause a problem. But again, like, you should be able to explain that at the beginning, and if they know you and understand you, it should be okay.
Well, that's something that comes up a lot too, and I think it happens where you need to be able to be honest with yourself and be honest with your boundaries and where you're at. It doesn't need to match everyone else, but it needs to match your partner. So going into it, everyone has a different level of what makes them jealous. Everyone has a different level of what they allow. Everyone has a different level of what they're able to trust within a relationship. And if it doesn't match or it's not communicated correctly, for us, in that instance, what you're just saying, we would be doing things that would be pissing off our partner, and I wouldn't even know. And that's happened before, where it hasn't been communicated to me, to be able to set that boundary, to acknowledge that, hey, like, maybe my personality, where I am able to have chemistry with all these people, is making them insecure, and then to take a step back and adjust, in particular, guy friendships that I have in order to make that relationship work.
Yeah, I have an example too of a situation that. So let me just give the. Do you know what I'm about to say?
No.
So I'll just say my ex started talking to a new girl, and me and my ex are on good terms pretty much, and we're finally friends on Instagram, all that stuff, and what?
Continue. That took some time. I don't know what story you're referring to.
Yeah, finally friends on Instagram, and then I get the unfollow, and I'm like, what? Seriously? And I address it, and I ask, I'm just like curious, why after all this time we're friends on Instagram, why are you deleting me? And his reasoning was because I'm talking to a new girl, or I'm trying to date and talk to girls, and they keep asking me why I'm friends with girls on my ex on Instagram, and it's just annoying, so I deleted you. And I'm just like, oh, okay, well, why should, in my mind, if you're gonna be with someone or want to be with someone, they should be okay if you're friends with your ex on Instagram. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
Well, here's the thing too, if it's not that big of a deal, and since there are no rules in social media,
why the opposite?
I think more so everybody needs to be more open to kind of adjusting, because having a relationship with your ex, there's no rules about that.
So, yeah, of course. But if you're going to have a relationship in real life with your ex, why is it a big deal to be friends? Like, it's like hiding something in a sense. Yeah. But also, so my point was, let's bring it full circle with the jealousy thing, saying their response was basically, oh, if they were friends with their ex on social media, I probably wouldn't really like that. It's like a jealousy thing in a sense, but it's like, that's not, you should not, in my opinion, start out the foundation of, oh, I would be jealous if, like, you should be able to explain that, and they should be at a place as well to be okay with that. But my question is, if the guy and the girl both agree that, oh, they're trying to put themselves in the other shoe and they both agree, I would be kind of jealous if you were friends with your ex on Instagram and they both align on that. Do you think that's still healthy jealousy because they're both jealous with that and realize that they're jealous about that thing? Or is it just that should not be there?
So both couples friends with their ex on Instagram.
Yeah.
They're trying to date and they both agree that they are uncomfortable with the fact that they're following their ex.
Yes.
And they both agree to unfollow.
Yes.
No.
It's not healthy?
No.
Why?
Because first of all, an unfollow on Instagram doesn't mean you're not communicating in real life. Mm-hmm. And that is the bigger focus. And that's what matters most. Yeah. So I don't care. To an extent, I don't care what's happening on Instagram. The deeper issue is if you have a problem with them being friends with their ex, that unfollow isn't going to mean they're not friends with their ex.
Yeah.
So if you have a problem with that, it goes deeper and you need to be honest. And they need to be honest. Assess their relationship with their ex, how much that matters. Look at their new partner. It's like that level thing of what level are you at? How much does this bother you? How do I communicate with my ex in a way that benefits this? Because, I mean, in my opinion, I don't think you should be cutting out relationships in your life. Yeah,
for a new partner.
Yes.
Yeah, they shouldn't be asking you to do that.
Yes.
And you shouldn't want to have to do that because you might feel the same way. Like, that sounds like a personal problem that needs to be worked on.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think bottom line is if you do feel jealous and it's past a certain point of it's consistently, it's happening it's reoccurring.
Well, if
and
you feel jealous to the point where you're also trying to control the other person's actions, it's not going to work.
No.
They only do things that they want to do.
Yeah, and you need to look within yourself and really analyze and sit with yourself, ask yourself the questions of where is this coming from? And another thing is that person, okay, is this jealousy coming from a past situation? Is it coming from a relationship you had before and you're just bringing it into this new relationship? You have to look at that as well, because that can be a case and you shouldn't be bringing that into the new relationship because that person isn't the same person. So let's say in your old relationship, you were with someone, okay, and you got jealous over a period of time consistently. It was a recurring feeling. And they kept saying nothing to worry about. And then you realize that, let's say they cheated on you. So then your jealousy was in a sense validated. So you had the right to feel that, okay? You guys break up, whatever, move on. Now you're in a new relationship, and let's say that person is kind of doing maybe the same thing that made you feel those feelings of jealousy, but they're a different person. That doesn't mean that the outcome's going to be the same, and you have to, again, voice it. Hopefully they can understand where you're coming from, but at the same time you need to not bring that into your new relationship and just have that conversation. Let them know where it's coming from. I don't think it's wrong to let them know, like, hey, this is why I'm feeling this way. I had a relationship where I felt this way, and then my feelings were validated because they proved me right. You know, like, have that conversation. I don't think that's too, like, talking about your ex too much in a situation, because it's trying to work on it. Of course, it shouldn't be something that comes up every time you fight or all the time, but have that first initial conversation and try and move forward.
Do you think should be able to move forward. Have a successful new relationship while working on jealousies or insecurities that you may still be holding on from a past relationship?
Dun, dun, I'm not 100% sure on that answer. I don't know. I think it's best, obviously, to go into a relationship fully healed and move forward from the relationship. Like a serious relationship, you should definitely be moved forward. But I think it's hard to fully not always have those feelings, because if it's something that hurt you and affected you that deeply, then there's always going to be those little parts, and over time they can go away. But it's especially if it's like you go from one relationship, let's say you're by yourself and single for 3 years. Yeah, you could have worked on yourself for those 3 years, but then you jump into a new relationship, and then you're with someone again, being intimate with someone again, having that person-to-person relationship, and then it may come up again because you haven't been with anybody else. Like, you haven't been with anybody else to, like, be in those situations again.
And I think your past relationships do shape how you move forward, as they should. It's okay, in my opinion, to be shaped by prior relationships. Answer those questions. If you see patterns that are presenting themselves, ask the questions that need to be asked, and pay attention to your new partner. If they're addressing it in the same ways, in the different ways, how is it making you feel? That all matters. So it should be going in the positive direction. They should let that jealousy be a passing emotion based on a situation, not something that is from the relationship or within yourself.
Yeah, they should also not make you feel bad about feeling that way either. They should be in the reassuring. There should be comfort and understanding in that as well.
And then trust when they answer, to not have it come up over and over and over again, because I do think it gets to the point too where
it's annoying.
You tell someone also too many times, you're gonna cheat, you're gonna cheat, you're gonna cheat. That's just not good.
Yeah.
Not good.
And eventually you might even push them to do that by saying it so much. Yeah.
Because they're like, shit, she already thinks that I'm gonna cheat on her.
Yeah.
Of course you're gonna be around girls. Of course you're gonna go into situations where you're tempted. And you need to have the security and the confidence in your relationship. Both of you need to be confident.
Yeah.
In order for that not to happen. Yeah.
But jealousy, the feeling, is normal. It can happen from time to time. It shouldn't happen all the time. So ask yourself why. But thank you guys. I'm so excited that we finally recorded our first podcast.
It's been a long time in the making.
Yeah, we really have been preparing for this for a long time. And we've been trying to perfect it. It's like that, I want it to be perfect, but I also just want to start kind of thing.
Yeah, and then we'd have conversations to each other all the time.
All the time. Like,
before any of this even began.
I want to record. Yeah. Yeah.
So now we're here.
Yeah, we're really excited. And they're just going to get better. They're going to get better. This is our first one. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you can DM us. I think leave a rating. We're not really 100% sure how it's
doing it.
Yeah, we're doing it. We're starting.
Yeah.
It's going to be consistent once a week for now at least. And send us questions. Anything that you may be going through, a topic that you want us to maybe discuss, see our thoughts on. It could be anything. Anything. We want you to feel comfortable.
We're not afraid to go there.
And if we can have it be anonymous, it's not a big deal. And we're just excited to talk to you guys, learn and help you guys learn from you learn from us, and just have conversations and hopefully help you guys and impact you guys.
Well, and we really are trying to improve and better ourselves little by little each day. So if you leave here feeling a little better than before,
that's our goal.
Then we're happy.
Yeah. We want to be the best version.
And we're going to leave better than before.
Yeah. We want to be the best version of ourselves. And we want to help maybe impact someone's life and help them be a better version, maybe just a little bit by something we say, just hearing us talk or like venting yourself, anything. We're here and we're just really excited. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and we cannot wait to see you guys.
See ya.
We can't wait to continue these podcasts, and I really hope you guys enjoy. See you in the next podcast.
Yep. Peace out.